It's time to continue where we left off from last week's episode, and it was really not bad. Actually, it was very fascinating.
Pokemon Ranger! I choose you!
What's up, my dear boys and girls, it's your Ranger Boy here, and welcome to my review of Pokemon Horizons, Episode 3. No need to beat around the bush any further since we are on a rescue mission, so grab some popcorn, grab some cookies, and let's do this. Interestingly enough, we start off with a dream sequence of Liko talking to her grandma, and even though their whole talk about the first step towards an adventure is really endearing, I couldn't really concentrate on that because first of all, she looks like an adventurer herself with the coat, the scarf, and the Arcanine. But I also had one thought in mind the moment I looked at her. Hey Yugi, long time no see. But before we will get more hints of a Pokemon X Yu-Gi-Oh crossover, Liko wakes up from her dream inside the room of Ola, I guess, with all the blueprints and tools lying around the floor. I mean, I wouldn't mind being in her room either. And our heroine is determined to get her kitten back. It seems like Liko isn't the only one who wants to achieve that goal, because after a morning greeting from all the other crew members, with the exception of the old man on top. Wait a minute, I totally forgot about that guy. And is he Quaxly's trainer? Where is Quaxly? What is Quaxly? Where was I again? Oh yeah, after their morning greetings, Freed and his crew already started preparations for the rescue mission, with seemingly no success so far besides the hint that they landed at a nearby town. Naturally, our girl wants her partner back no matter what, even if it means searching for it herself. But Freed can't allow that, because first of all, it would be really dangerous for a little girl to go up against some evildoers without a Pokemon, and secondly, and most importantly, they got paid by Liko's mom to be her bodyguards. Oh, now I get it. So they don't really want to help Liko out because of the kindness of their hearts. They just want to get that dough. And you know what? I respect that. You have to grind for that money, my friends. But come on, at least you could have told her that you were hired. Not cool, Freed. Not cool at all. At least we won't see the uncool handshake again. Well, putting that aside, they arrive at the town of suspicion and soon determine their roles. Freed and Murdoch will use their Pokemon to scout the area, Mechanic and Prime Waifu Ola will do some repairing on the ship, the old Quaxly guy still does nothing, and both Liko and Molly will restock some potions at the Pokemon Center. And with all that, they set off. And at the same time, one of my biggest fears in regards of this anime came true. The really uncool handshake is actually their signature handshake. No! To be fair, it doesn't look as bad when you do it in a group. It's basically the cheerleader effect, where as long as you're in a group, everything is okay. But when you look at it individually, it's just hideous. But besides that atrocity, everything else about the Rising Volticulus seems to be so cool and so admirable, right? Well, instead of doing their shopping together, Molly just gives Liko a note and lets her do all the shopping all by herself. To be honest, I'm not really surprised by these people because, you know, they are hired as bodyguards and they do this on a daily basis. Anyway, after a short scene of the explorers spying on the crew, Liko awaits her orders in the Pokemon Center while watching a video of her favorite internet personality. Which, let's be honest here, highly energetic and somewhat cringe personality. Female, and does streaming and other kinds of stuff. Is that Iono in a Nidorina outfit? It has to be her, right? But to be honest, I still want that secret rare card of her though, but increasing depression aside, we have to be serious here. Suddenly a girl trying to save her Vulpix appears, and after hearing that her Pokemon got injured because she couldn't properly use it, Liko now is scared that because of her, Sprigatito also might be severely damaged as well. And severe damage has happened indeed. But not to Sprigatito because it seemed to be okay, but to the heart of Explorers member Konya because of how cute the cat Pokemon is. Totally understandable. Have a nice day. Not even this kind of cuteness can't move the heart of Amifio, with his aura being even edgier than his Cerulleger's blades, and he is just so hyper-focused on getting both the pendant and the girl. Speaking of the girl, we return back to Liko, who after a long wait finally receives her massive order. But suddenly, she hears Murdoch's Rockruff from afar and immediately runs towards it, and sure enough, one of the explorers has been spotted. But besides the quote-unquote villains being spotted, Amifio doesn't mind at all and actually wants Konya to lure them into their hideout. Arriving at said hideout, our protagonist wants to just run straight into the building. But for once, Fried actually starts explaining things to Liko, and together they come up with a plan. So both of them encounter the leader, and Fried makes the offer to have a rematch with the winner getting what they want. So the battle starts, and I know, I always have to remind myself that Captain Pikachu is nothing else but a merch tool. But look at this scene right here. Him throwing away his hat before starting his offense. It's so cool! See, Journeys? That is how you do some exciting animation, and not, you know, this. Just in general, even the little animated action scenes that we saw from this match alone still was better than most battles we have seen in Journeys, period. And I think that many people within the fanbase can actually agree. But why are the battle scenes so short? Because the battle was actually just for time stalling while Liko is rescuing her Pokemon. Sadly for her, Konya decided to oppose our heroine because she was under the impression that her relationship with Sprigatito was love at the first sight. And now, her heart was broken. I'll be honest, reminds me a lot of Jessie. But just like in episode 1, Liko knows exactly that she is at a disadvantage and uses her unusually large leafage attack to escape. Shortly after, Amifio also realized Fried's true intention, but sadly it's too late for him to chase after her. So both Liko and Fried escape victoriously. Back at the airship, Liko discusses with her partner how she can actually trust Fried and his crew, how she realized that she has actually started to become a Pokemon trainer during these last few days, and how she was finally able to find what she always has been searching for. The very first step towards a new horizon, the first step towards a goal and a purpose in life. After that great speech, Liko expresses her gratitude towards the WELLLLCOME, and that now she starts trusting them, and that for now she also wants to find out more about the pendant, and seemingly the crew wants to do that too, since their main goal in general is to uncover not only the mysteries surrounding Pokemon, but also the mysteries of the world, something that Fried, once again, never mentioned to Liko. Oh, Fried, never change. And with Liko now joining their really uncool handshake, they're on their way to go to Liko's mom to collect the money. Now that's what I call motivation. And that's basically the episode, and without any more hesitation, let's talk in detail about the major aspects of this episode. So as you can tell, the anime did a rather interesting approach in regards of this new series. The first episode was all about characterizing Liko. The second one was all about action and drama to grab the viewer's attention. And the third episode seems to be the start, or rather the setup, of numerous future events. They now have established what the Rising WELLLLCOMEs are all about, aka basically solving mysteries. At first I didn't really think much of its purpose, to be honest, since it sounded very vague, but then I had to remind myself of two things. First of all, the Rising WELLLLCOMEs are adventurous first and foremost, so having a goal that lets them constantly dive into the unknown is rather fitting for this crew. And secondly, Fried himself is a professor, and for him especially, uncovering mysteries is something that indeed does fit his status. So all in all, I really like that revelation. The other future event that the anime has set up is in regards of the Explorers. We know that the WELLLLCOMEs helped out Liko simply because they were hired by Liko's mom to do so. But why exactly does Amifio chase after Liko? Did they also got hired by someone else, or is there an ulterior motive behind their actions? Next up, there are still secrets behind the pendant that were low-key hinted in this episode. For example, how Konya pointed out that Liko's leafage attack was unusually large, which is something we also have seen in episode 2. And this strange occurrence surely has to have something to do with the pendant and the unknown Pokemon inside it. And both Liko and the rest of the crew, and also in a way the Explorers, are now starting their quest to find out more about the pendant and what kind of role especially Liko plays in regards of that. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about Liko, how she finally found a quote-unquote goal/horizon, and what at least I think the anime will do with it. Again guys, I'm really sorry for the constant Ash comparisons, but to be honest, that is just the nature of the beast, since not only is she the main character, but she's also the successor of Ash, so the comparison sadly will last for a while. And especially in this case, I have to point him out, because there is already a stark difference between Ash and Liko in terms of their goal. Ash always had the overall goal of Pokemon Master, constant constantly dangling over his head. No matter what he did, people were always waiting for him to finally make a huge and significant step towards that goal. And every time he didn't, people criticized him. But by the time it felt like he actually did a major step, like for example winning the Alola League or winning the world title, fans realized very quickly that even after all of these achievements, it still felt like he hasn't made any progress at all, even after 20 plus years. Because the Pokemon Master goal is so seemingly large and so vague that it will probably take him forever. Hell, even Ash himself pointed out during the Aim to be a Pokemon Master special that winning all these titles and being a strong trainer is not being a Pokemon Master, and that his journey is far from over. And this is where the main difference between Ash and Liko is. Liko does not have an overarching goal constantly dangling all over her head. In fact, she stated since day one that she has no goal at all and is actually searching for her first step towards finding that goal, aka finding a new horizon. So what the anime actually does is that instead of Liko approaching her story like Ash did, instead Liko approaches her story the Serena way. Remember, since day one, Serena had no clear goal in mind, and instead, thanks to the interactions with her friends and the influence of the outside environment, she slowly but surely figured out what she wanted in life and what she really desired. Therefore, the goal never really defined Serena, but Serena defined the goal herself. And I think this is the direction that the new anime wants to go with Liko. The purpose of this episode was to make clear that Liko finally found her very first step towards the right direction. With the help of the rising Voltaiclas and other outside influences, Liko will step by step figure it out herself. She will dive from one adventure to another, and the more she does that, the more her goal will form, and sometimes even change to something we didn't expect, until she will eventually find her ultimate goal. Like for example in this episode, her current goal is now to figure out the mysteries regarding the pendant, but this is not her ultimate goal, but just a temporary one, which will lead to even further mysteries and therefore to further new aspirations for Liko to chase after. So I really do think that, at least to me, it seems like the anime is going in a direction with Liko that makes her story still very engaging, while also not limiting her like they did with Ash in the past, therefore providing a sense of both mystery and freedom that Ash was never allowed to have, thanks to his Pokemon Master goal. And to be honest, I think this is the absolute right approach to handle your long-running main protagonist, and honestly, I love it, and I can't wait for more. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this probably very long review once again. What is your opinion? And just like always, see you guys in the comments.